India top 3.
This hasn't even come out the hit.
See the green stack here.
And hello everyone, welcome to this first match of the Mario Kart Wii World Cup 2025, where Spain will face up against Asia in the first match of the Plains. I'm Scoped and I'm ecstatic today to bring you this first match alongside Vinny. Hello Vinny.
How's it going, everyone? Hope y'all are excited.
I know I certainly am really happy to be casting the opening match of this tournament alongside you, right after casting GSC Division 1 finals as well. But regardless, really excited to see this competition. Once again, after 2 years of hiatus, they're finally seeing it back onto the stage. A lot of teams have changed during that time, and Asia is actually one of those big game changers. You'll talk about it a lot later. When we just mentioned the LUs, but so far, I think speaking of which, we'll just get right into the lineups here. Do you want to start, or should I do the honors?
You can if you want. You got it. That's the first lineup.
All right, let's talk about Spain first. Well, Spain, or as some of you might try and summarize it, essentially JP plus Saru. JP, a Spanish team that's been playing in mid-div for a lot of their lifespan. Really, a lot of chemistry there, and that's their biggest strength. Spain is probably one of the teams that has the most chemistry out of any team in this World Cup, simply because most of their roster is already playing on a single GSC team. Chem is not something you see a lot of. You do see it on a lot of like maybe high tier teams, like for example, the USA teams, England, France, for example, another group of players that's been playing together for a while. But Spain is definitely in there and is one of the biggest ones at the bottom level. Saru is the only one odd one out here, the only one that's not in the JP lineup, but definitely the main carry of this team, I would say, played in Lover's Posture this season, almost got to the playoffs, actually, only losing by 1 point against Wollywogs to make it to the semis. Overall, their chemistry, knowing each other's playstyle, that's going to be the Spain's biggest strength going into this playing stage to get into the groups. And they'll be facing Asia today, and I'll just let Vinny do the honors when presenting their lineup.
All right. So yeah, for Team Asia's lineup, we have Josh, Monty, Charlie, Eric, and Yoshi. Chris will be their bagger. So this is kind of a newer group. And as far as Team Asia, they've had some different lineups throughout the years, and I'll get to that in a second. But these are really strong runners in their own right. I'm not sure how the chem is going to be because I don't know how many times they've played with each other, how many practice rooms they've done, but that could be a little issue. That could be a thing to look out for. Maybe the chem isn't as strong as Spain's lineup, but still, I mean, you can't deny this running power with Josh and Monty headline this. Monty, a very fast rising player. He's played a lot of high tier lounge. He's improved very rapidly within the past year and a half. So he's going to be one of the better runners in this match. And then Josh as well. He's been playing in high div for many years now. So expect him to be up at the front a lot and also making plays with his items. And then Charlie and Eric, really good runners in their own right, so they should be able to help out, maybe get some support in the mid pack. And then we have Yoshi Chris bagging, who is a newer bagger to high div and also to World Cup, of course. So it'll be interesting to see if he'll rise up to the occasion, and I expect him to do a pretty good job in the bagging department. But real quick, I want to talk about the only other time that these two teams have faced off. So Asia and Spain, this was back in 2023's World Cup. Asia's lineup was Rain, Lexin, MHS, Adia, and Ilias. So it's almost a completely different lineup last time Asia played Spain. So they've got, like I said before, they've got a new group of players. So it will be interesting to see how they are chem-wise. But as far as the running department, they really don't have too many holes up there. I would expect them to put up a strong performance today.
Yeah, it's really a matter of like individual strength compared to overall chem, and it's good that you mentioned that Spain versus Asia match because we mentioned Asia's lineup being completely different, but that's also the same for Spain. Back then we had Broly, Trash, Agar, Jesus, and Q, and none of these players are playing today, so we both have completely we have two completely fresh lineups going against each other today. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup goes. Apparently, we're having a bit of hosting issues currently, so let's go ahead and talk maybe about the plans in general. Maybe mention this little format here that we have. For those that have not seen the group drawings, 3 teams have been put into all 4 groups so far, and the seeds from 12 to 18, 13 to 18, will be decided after the play-ins. Top 2 teams from the play-ins will get into the top 16, and then the groups will be finished from there. So we have, of course, Asia and Spain that we mentioned. We have Lucephone, and we have the Northern squad, Nordic squad, sorry. And yeah, all of the matches that you're going to see this week and the next one will be to decide what 2 teams will get into the top 16 proper. Any comments to complement that, Vinny?
I'm really interested to see who's going to advance out of this playing stage. Between these 4 teams, we have Nordic, Asia, Spain, and then Lusophone Alliance. And I know Lusophone Alliance and I think Asia are going to be playing later today. But yeah, I'd say the top 2 teams out of this group are probably Team Nordic and Asia, although I could definitely see the other teams putting up a big fight. And also another team that looks a lot different is Team Nordic. I mean, you're talking about like Norway, obviously Denmark, Sweden, Finland, but those types of countries. But I don't believe like Barney, Faisal, or Boss, like and a lot of like the big names aren't playing this time around the World Cup. It's a lot of newer players for these countries, kind of similar to Asia and Team Spain. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. But Team Nordic still has a very strong main lineup, so it would not surprise me at all to see them advance it from the playing stage to the group stage, which will begin May 26th. What are your thoughts, scoped on some of these other teams in the play-in stage?
I do agree with the thoughts of Nordic and Asia being obviously the top 2 teams to go forward. They're seeded that way at the very least. It is amusing to see Nordic here, seeing how many top-level Nordic players have shown up in Mario Kart Wii throughout the years. So it's funny to see them in planes, but given the roster, it's expected. Barney, Faisal, and Fox have not shown interest in World Cup, even in 2023, I believe. So it's not anything too surprising, but regardless, will be a pretty interesting playing stage. There's been overall in terms of seeding in this World Cup, there's been an interesting trend of just how close the seedings are to one another. There's a small gap around like the 8th or 9th seeds, but it's widely agreed that top 8 seed are really close together, aside from maybe 1 or 2 teams being above the rest. But yeah, overall, it's going to be a really, really tough competition this World Cup, and I'm excited to cast a lot of it, hopefully. But yeah,
Yes.
so with the planes gone, we should talk about the group stage as well. Seeing as we're unfortunately still having a bit of hosting issues on the side of Spain there. So for those that didn't see the group drawings, essentially all teams were divided into 4 groups, which went from seeds 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12, and 13 to play-ins. And tiers S, A, and B were all put into different groups, E, F, G, and H. So you had tier S, tier A, tier B, and tier C seed into every single group. As you can see here, Group E, England, France, Italy, F, USA South, I believe. At USA South?
Yes, the one below is USA South, the one at the bottom, and North is the one with the blue, the
All
dark
right.
blue, black.
Yeah, so USA South, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, sorry, USA North, Germany. Just overall, a lot of these, once again, you see a top tier team pretty much in every single one of these groups that's expected to dominate, but a lot of people have nicknamed the Group F the Group of Death, Vinny, if you'd like to comment on that a bit more.
Group F, you say?
Yeah, Group F has
Yeah,
been
sure.
deemed by quite a few people, deemed the Group of Death. Why is that?
Group of Death. So this is the first time me hearing about it being called the Group of Death. So I don't exactly know the lore
No,
behind that. I have to look into it, but it's gonna be a very tough group. I mean, you see, you got USA North, you have Team Germany, and then Latin America. So it will be interesting to see who takes who takes it home from that group. I'd say probably the best team, at least on paper, is probably USA North. But then Team Latin America and Germany will definitely give them a run for their money, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look and see why it is being called
I gotta thrust this
because.
upon you. My apologies.
No,
And
you're all good. I did watch the the drawn stages, but I did not hear that on the stream. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look in and see what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean, you have any thoughts about Group F or who you think is probably the best team out of all these teams?
well, obviously the main the like obviously the first instinct is to say, well, every single team that was in the S group, aka England, both USA's and India, are more than likely to go into top 8. But I think a few of these teams, I'm looking, for example, at Canada, which while they may not have the best synergy, a lot of their players have played in really different teams. They have a lot of really good individual pieces, so they could definitely create a pretty big surprise in Group H. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe. Well, obviously, I'm going to be a little biased and say I'm hoping that France can maybe create an upset against England. I have to be a little bit biased for my nation here.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But overall, I think Benelux might also be able to create a few surprises
Oh, they
in their group
definitely
against
can.
India.
For sure. That's going to be a team to look out for, as India is definitely probably the favorite, at least on paper in Group G. Benelux still has a really strong roster in their own right, so they're going to be a team to look out for sure in Group G alongside of them.
Absolutely, and thankfully we don't have to stall for much longer. Room should start up at any moment now. Unfortunately, it seems we'll only have Josh as a POV for now,
Yeah, unfortunately.
aside from Yoshi Chris back. So we'll just have to deal with that, and better pray that Josh isn't too far in the front or the back, keeping that mid-pack action that we always like to see.
That's right.
Any predictions here, Vinny? I know you said that you expected Asia to be one of the top 2 teams going into
Yes.
play-ins, but any specifics on the match results?
Yeah, I'm gonna predict Asia's gonna win, and I'm gonna say they're gonna win by 40 points. That's what I'm going with. And I'm gonna say team MVP or MVP for this match. Let me think about this for a second. You know what? I'm actually gonna go Monty. You know, like I've seen him put up some big scores in GSC and some other scrims and in Lounge as well. So I think he's like a strong candidate to MVP. What about you, Scoped? Right before we get started.
I do think that Asia is definitely the favorite on paper, but I'll throw in a little wager, a little bit of a different wager. I'll say win by around 25, and I will say that Saru is going to be the MVP going into this match. Here's my little gamble.
All right, well let's see what happens. See how it shakes out. We are getting started right here, so thankfully, don't have to delay anymore. Hopefully, smooth sailing the rest of the way. We'll see what track picks both these teams. I don't exactly know what they like to pick these teams, but I imagine we'll probably see our standard picks like maybe RBC, Sherbet Land, Maple Treeway, you know. And yeah, we are seeing MT and then RSL coming out. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm very excited to cast this one. First World Cup match of 2025. Let's get into the scope. I'm pumped.
I'm pumped. Oh, right alongside you. And this first pick could already be a pretty big sentiment in the war if Maple Treeway gets picked by Asia. And they can get a really and Maple Tree can be picked by Spain. Can get a pretty good running start into this war, and it is going to be picked. So we'll have to see. I'm expecting obviously one person from each team taking cut there. The classic for any of us have played Maple Tree competitively. Josh
Definitely.
should be possibly the one hopping into it. Never mind.
So we'll see him get a 5th place box. Pulls triple shroom is a really good pull there, so he can get up to the front early on if he so chooses to, or he can hold him for the cut. Oh, barely a point to bomb. I don't know where that came from. Wow, that was close.
Forcing out a Mega almost instantly. I would assume that Josh shrooms up there. Soda being the only one up there, and is going to get passed by
Charlie, yeah.
By Charlie here. Monty and Josh right behind. Josh should absolutely get up there, either chasing that shroom for cut or trying to disrupt Soda here on that bridge. Probably not wanting to disrupt too much Monty and Charlie, but a great start for Asia so far.
Absolutely, they're all up here right now, and that's the key on MT. You want to be up there commanding those front spots rather than try and play catch up. As we see Asia getting into, top 2 with Monty taking over first, but Josh is going to take the cut here, and yeah, Monty's going to get blued actually, so Josh will take over first place.
Monty eats the blue, and Charlie also gets bumped off that ramp going into lap 2. So Josh is now the only one up there going to have to defend a little bit against Spain. We do see that both baggers are now sitting at the set. None of them should have just yet. No ground star for Josh, unfortunate. But we do see George and Soda right behind him on his trail. That first blue definitely impacted that front presence from Asia quite a bit.
It definitely did. Right now, Josh just running, trying to keep on his first. Gonna place a banana, hoping that Spain hits it. As we see, looking like not sure exactly what stock status is, if anyone has or not. We do have Yoshi Cruz's POV as well to keep an eye on the bagging battle. Just if you're just now tuning in.
And no one should have just yet, from what I've seen.
Yeah, Josh is breaking away in first at the moment, just trying to put some action, trying to hit Spain out to get his Asia teammates up there.
Putting a Nana on the Jack, they're not going to connect onto Soda. He still has a pretty good lead onto second there, should be able to keep first unless there is a blue that has manifested. Castor's Curse is a very real thing, folks, we got to remember. And
oh my gosh, you were saying, and he's going to get combo read in. Wow.
Gets comboed as well. I manifested it right away, goodness.
Yeah, you sure did.
Spain in a really good spot. George and Soda in top 2 there. Eric and Josh into 3-4. So with those two blues, Spain actually getting a really good race out of that, keeping it completely shockless. Unless
and they're gonna get top 2.
Late one might get spanned. We do see Saru as well getting to 5th, so that's going to be top 2-5 from Asia with those two blues. I can't believe how well that was timed.
And we saw Yoshi Chris pulling shock, but it was way too late till after the race is over now. But yeah, I mean, those blues were just the downfall of Team Asia that race. They were up there. I mean, but unfortunately, yeah, they just didn't have an answer for those blue shells. And I mean, if that isn't Castor's Curse, I don't know what is. I mean, that was insane. As yeah, we see 3 or 3-4.
Top 2-5. Yeah, top 2-5.
6-8 for Asia. For Asia, yeah. 9.
That's a huge race to start us off. We were talking about possibly yeah, my mistake on Jorge's pronunciation. We'll fix that for the rest of the cast. My Spanish is horrendous, so
you're all good. I can help you out a little bit with the names in Spanish if you need. But yeah, a good start for Team Spain. That's what you like to see, especially when you're kind of the underdog going into the match and kind of have to work a little bit more to win. That's exactly the kind of start you want to see. Now they have a couple different tracks they can go. You can either maybe go from a Moonview Highway type pick, maybe potentially BCB. We'll see what they opt to go for here. As yeah, we'll see Asia going for Gardens and DK Mountain. That's another great track pick for a top 2-5 for Team Spain as well.
Yeah, not too surprising to see that. Not the first running pick that we see so often, but we do have to remember that Soda is one of those top 2. So really good AC track, DK Mountain, especially with just BCW maybe being a bit too risky with Asia still occupying 3-4, so maybe they don't want to risk it too early. And yeah, unfortunately for Asia, they're just gonna have to deal with Spain's running track pick.
Well, Josh might be able to break up this. He has a pretty good starting line, yeah, and he's gonna just find himself early on into first place, passes both the top 2. I can just drag this green out and try to trail one of Team Spain. That's what you want to see if you're Team Asia there.
Yeah, another member of Team Asia actually slipping up. Jorge is the only one getting into that top 3. Yeah, Eric right behind Josh. Gotta be careful not to trail out his teammate there. But Asia having a really good start on this race, surprisingly.
Yeah, really, really good start. That's the worst case scenario if you're Team Spain. You pick this track, get a good start, hopefully to keep them, but they could not keep those top spots early on. Gonna have to cycle for blues, and maybe try to go for shock as well, as we see just them running. Oh, that was close.
that was an interesting green. It was probably just thrown out to not hit out his teammates, but it almost came back to bite him.
Yeah, that almost turned into a disaster, which was just supposed to be them throwing away. But yeah, Monty's gonna take over first. It's in Asia, top 3
Charlie
now.
Gets TC in third, but it doesn't really matter. Pau is used there. I assume it was probably just to get a. I would assume it's Asia's last member just chaining there, not wanting to wait, not wanting to stay in the back too long with that Pau. Oh, there's an argument to be made to just hold that Pau, seeing how strong it is on the Shroomless.
Yeah, good lunch from Josh early on, taking him. Josh trying not to bump out Monty, though. So we're going to have to do a little bit of spacing. Make sure they don't kill each other, especially on the cut.
We do get a Shroom, though. Monty should just be able to let him pass there. Not wanting to recreate that Maple Tree away race with that double blue
just
shell.
try to draft him. Okay, well, switching over to okay, we do have Soda's POV now, so that's good. We do have a Spain POV, and we will see Shock coming in. Jorge dodges, is gonna get up there into the top spots.
Soda, unfortunately, barely not able to get that shock onto his own star, but gonna be able to try and red out Eric there. Now, Jorge is pretty much the only one up there for Team Spain. Has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Gonna have to see if he can keep up with the duo of Josh and Monty up there. Soda's gonna have to try and just hit out the last member of Asia. They're trying to get the rest of his team up there.
Oh, that bull is in a terrible spot for Josh. He's gonna have to lose a little bit of time. Still top two though. Can they keep it? See, actually top three, yeah. So
Top three, yeah.
Charlie in third to help him out. Bomb did
Oh,
not.
that
That
bomb!
hits Charlie. That hits Charlie on the line, but it is still a top two for Asia though. So they still get the winning race, but that bomb, man, wow.
Yeah, definitely. That bridge section is one of the most terrifying ones in the game. No room to hide, no room to dodge almost, and we saw it right away with that bomb. Interesting shock on the side of Spain, I will say. I don't know how much that was spammed.
I'm not sure. It was, yeah, either that or maybe some miscommunication. I don't really know. We can't really tell either. But yeah, it seems like they didn't really get the best out of that shot, which maybe they could have used it a little better. But yeah, top two,
Yeah.
6-7 for Team Asia. So they responded nicely, especially on Team Spain's track. So it's going to be close to even, pretty much all even up after 2 races, which
Yeah,
kind of a little surprising. I may have thought that Asia might be out in front a little bit more, but it's only 2 races, so a lot can change in the next 10. These are best of 1 matches, by the way, not best of 3s for anyone who might be wondering.
yeah, absolutely. Probably not for planes, and they won't be for the group stage either. I believe it'll only start at
Yeah,
top
yeah.
8. Yeah. But yeah,
Yep.
overall, Asia getting a really good response out of it, even with the shock, even with the bomb at the end. Unfortunately, Charlie going all the way from 3rd to 7th, so that's a really nice, pretty much close to a 10-point swing. Close, not 10-point swing, but maybe close to that.
Somewhere around there, yeah, in the ballpark. So let's see, we see DDR coming out for Team Asia and Grumble Volcano coming out for Team Spain.
With Sherbet
See what
Lands
happens here.
being sprinkled in as well. Both options expected really, and DDR is going to be picked. One of the most technical tracks in the base game. I think Asia's individuality can absolutely shine here.
It for sure can, especially on like the tech tracks. You might say that Asia has a little bit of the upper hand, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what shakes out. Gonna start off with Josh's POV. Gonna go round 10 up wisely. Did not want to get bumped off from Monty. As we see TC coming out for Spain. Can't doesn't make no shit back then at him. And it looks like
Soda is up there.
get
Jorge's
past
going to be
it.
able to pass that TC. The sand of DDR helping him quite a bit, and now Spain is 2 out of the top 3 of this. Josh should get redded as well by a friend there. Let's just switch POVs over to Soda because Josh is going to be stuck in the back for quite a bit until Ultra there. We'll have to see if Soda can hit out Monty as well. That POW is really good. Makes Monty lose a potential item. That Nana is not going to connect onto Soda. Getting a bit closer with that POW, but it's not going to be enough going around Sandhop for both of these players.
Yeah, switching over to Josh. We see him taking the Ultra here, getting into this place. Does not get the item. Doesn't have to kind of start. And we do see Yoshikutsu with shock. So Team Asia currently with a shot. They're gonna need to try to get dodge, especially Josh now as he finds himself in 8th place. He needs to get a star or a bill.
Both of our POVs in 7th and 8th so far going to have to battle for dodges. Both of them pulling triple shrooms, unfortunately. Not what you want to see when a shock is guaranteed in the match right now. Soda going to have to wait until box 8 and actually doesn't get any, as we see on our other POV.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, you need that box, especially when you know the other team is shock. And we see Josh just holding this PAL for now. Just, yeah, gonna take sand. Trying not to kill his team.
Possibly a dodge as well in the top spots, just trying to maybe get a dodge at the end there. Eric pulling that TC in 6th. That's going to be big. Asia now in bottom 2, Charlie in 4th, and I would assume just their last member of Asia within that top 2. Good power dodge on the side of Soda. Shock is going
You'll
to be
see
used. I
shock
believe
coming
that is
in.
no dodgers actually. That is probably just for Asia's top spots. Charlie trying to get up there, trying to beat Jorge on the line. Blue's
Yep.
full, but that is too late. I think that might have been top 2, bottom 2 on the side of Asia with that shock.
Yeah, that just didn't that shock really didn't do much of anything for them there. Unfortunately, they couldn't get dodges. Josh, no luck pulling a dodge in the back, as we saw Yoshi Chris have shock for quite a while there. So it's just I mean that's just how it goes sometimes, and couldn't really see much of the top for that race. We're not sure who got all the top spots. Find out in just a second. Okay, yeah,
I would,
Asia top
yeah.
two
Top 2,
is
bottom
good.
2. I was correct in my little prediction. Monty and Charlie holding the fort. Charlie able to barely squeeze out that second place. I have to assume that shock was just called for him in order to beat Jorge on the line there, and it worked out perfectly. Without any dodges, that was pretty much the only option that they had, and Asia managed to pull that off really well. Unfortunate, Josh was pretty much in 7-8 the entire time. Like you said, no dodges pulled on any set throughout the entirety of lap 3 and pretty much half of lap 2 as well, so
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
you're just at the mercy of Mr. Bean today. That's what we've learned, folks.
That's exactly it.
So Grumble Volcano on the side of Team Spain there in the mid spots, and Warriors Goldmine. Expected track picks for both of these teams. If it is Grumble Volcano, Vinny, I do have a little wager to do with my co-casters. How many people do you think?
Okay.
How many people do you think are going to fail the rock hop if a Grumble is
Oh,
picked?
oh gosh. Well, it isn't GB, so I guess we're gonna have to wait off on that wager just a little bit until it might get picked again. But I guess I probably would have said maybe one or two people failing. You know, I think these people are obviously well experienced enough, pretty consistent with the rock, but that would have been my guess. But nonetheless, it is a gold mine. We're gonna see Soda go up the half pipe here, try to get a box. We'll get a box in
Actually
eight
gets
and
boxed in.
pulls a
I
golden.
I don't believe either bagger went for the box of the on the half pipe. Actually, both choosing to go around. Interesting play on Whereas Goldmine. We do see the bagger getting the box in eighth usually. So Soda's going to be able to shroom up almost immediately. Spain now 3 out of that top 5. I have to assume either Monty or Charlie are in first so far. It is
Yes,
Monty in
Monty
first.
is in one. So 1-3 for Asia at the moment. As we
One of
see a
Spain
mega
getting
pull for
headouts.
Soda.
That could be a really big. We know how strong the TS is on this track, so a dodge being pulled so early, if Edwin can pull an early shock, that can maybe just TS the top 2 of Asia and just allow Soda to get up there. Actually, Mega chained immediately. Never mind.
See him chain, yeah. It was Yoshi Chris is 10 right now, so if Edwin's gonna pull, it's gonna have to be a 9. So yeah, I don't hate that mega chain at all. And we'll see a blue coming in onto Monty. Gonna get him right on the right, which will get Soda into second. Josh is gonna take over one. Up to him to hold down the fort as our Team Many of Asia team around him for the moment at least.
We do see that Yoshi Chris is still in 10 so far. Should stay in that spot for the rest of the race. But yeah, I have to commend.
Oh
Oh,
no, Soda drifts off the track. Oh
that's
no. Maybe a
unfortunate.
controller, assuming a controller failed there. That's so unfortunate. He was really their only top spot, at least for the moment. And we
And
will see
Josh
Josh
immediately
getting
gets
blued.
blued. So once again, 2 blues on the side of Spain, getting them back
But
into
Asia's
the
top
race
four, though.
there.
It was all Asia. Yeah, they're top four right now.
No,
I think, or
Josh is in
Starzan.
5th. Josh is in
Oh,
5th.
okay,
So
Starzan. That's my bad, yeah. Starzan. Apologies, and
Shock
we will see Shock coming in.
Shock is called, so that does dodge. But Asia is still at top 3, and another blue pulled by Spain.
Wow. Well, they were all tops Asia was, but not anymore. As that blue just come onto Monty. Sar's gonna shroom up in one, so
Sar should get
we'll
into
take
first. Yeah,
home.
Charlie in second. A lot of chaos going on at the end. Soda gets redded out. Monty gets the TC to get back up. Soda gets 7th. Jorge 8th. Still a really good race with 8 for Asia after 3 blues on the side of Spain.
That's absolutely crazy. Like, there's been a lot of blues pulled this match early on. I will say that a lot more than what we usually see. But yeah, and it helps Spain out again. Really helps. It really came in clutch from at the end.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I gotta commend Monty and Josh for holding down the fort so much in that top 2 during lap 2, just being able during lap 1 and 2 being able to back out so much of Spain, keeping that lead so much so that even after all of that, aside from Saru going into first, they still get a good race out of it. They get 2, 3, 5, 6. That's winning, and with those 3 blues, that's all you can ask for, really.
I mean, 100%. Yeah, you've got to salvage it any way you can. at that point after taking all those blues. So see what they're gonna opt to pick now at this point, and gonna have to try come up with, I guess, a new game plan, try to counteract those blues to the best of your abilities. But there's only
RBC
so
is
much you can do.
RBC in 1-4. I'm not surprised to see that the classic draft pick trying to get top to bottom, trying to get like half of your pack in the front, half of your pack in the back. Waluigi Stadium, neither a really surprising pick. KC, pretty typical as well for 2, 3, 5, 6. Pretty standard draft picks overall. No hard wrench has been thrown into the mix just yet. I will be excited to see the first LC of the World Cup, that's for certain.
It's gonna be absolute chaos when it gets picked. Can't wait to watch that. It will happen eventually.
That it
It's
will,
only
but
inevitable.
for now, we do have the classic RBC that's going to get picked for Spain. Saru should be able to let his teammate draft into the front. Soda might be able to get one as well. Barely doesn't get it with the
Yeah.
bridge bounces, so Asia stays in that mid pack.
Yeah, good play was so just to shroom up
Actually,
here and try to get into the front as we see
the
top two for the moment, but so is gonna shroom up. But get redded out, so back top two for Asia.
last member of Spain actually got redded out right before this, so Asia now in that top 3 with Jorge being the only one contesting, as we can see on Josh's POV. Green is going to go really tight, and Jorge
Yeah.
going to be able to shroom up into that top 2, causing a lot more chaos. Front shrooming up as well. We do see Soda on our other POV going to have to eat a TC, so it's going to be pretty far gone for now. But Asia, aside from Fran and Jorge, have a pretty solid control of the race so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on a track like RBC, that is absolutely vital. See if Josh's going to try and make a play with the green. Doesn't connect onto Francis. Hip snipe attempt going to be unsuccessful as well.
Yeah,
See
Jorge
just
going to be
trying to avoid
Jorge
this
able to get
green.
in the front now. And we do see a member of, I believe that is Spain shrooming. No, that is Monty. Monty shroomed up as well. So Asia now back in 1-3-4, back into the top spots of this race. Jorge is going to have to compete with being sandwiched between those two Asia
Yep.
players.
It's going to be really tough for sure. And this bomb from Josh, he could just back on Francis soon, chooses which he will. He's going to get him. Really good play. And Jorge gets taken out. So top 3 now for Team Asia, which is huge out on RBC. It's really tough to get top spots out unless you can pull shock and get those dodges. And especially with these greens, Josh can do a lot of damage in Schlag if he chooses to, if Spain gets
And the back
closer to
green,
him.
the first back green immediately connects. So they should be able to get quite the lead. Actually, never mind. Shock is pulled really early there. We do see
That's
that
Spain's
Yoshi
shock
Chris.
right there. Yeah.
Yoshi Chris is in 9, dropped a star for his team. I do believe that's... Yeah, that is Monty picking it up in first.
What a
Nice
bomb!
bomb by Jorge.
That is a huge bomb, yeah, from Jorge. So while it is still top 2 for Asia, Jorge at least trying to take out as many Asia members as he can to try salvage something for Team Spain. But we're starting to see them break a little bit more in top 2's Josh. Is holding this room in second from the moment.
Probably going to save it for Cut, just making sure he gets as much
Yeah,
distance as
definitely.
possible.
That's where you're going to want to use it at.
At
To
this
get him
point,
out of as well.
even if blue is pulled, I do not believe that Monty loses his top spot by any means. At this point, Josh just needs to put as much distance as
Yeah.
he can between him and the rest of Spain. They have this race
Yep.
under control so far. I do believe that the other Asia members are 4 and 8th. We do see Eric actually right here, shock onto the boost panel. It was another
Yeah, no, that was
Spain
another
shock.
Spain. Yeah. Another Team Spain shock. But that's not going to do anything to break up this top 3 we see from Team Asia.
Top 3, and it should be still 8th on the side of the last Asia member. But yeah, Asia just showing complete dominance over that whole race every single time that someone from Spain, whether it was Jorge, whether it was Soda, instantly able to just hit them out, get them out of those top spots, keep control of that race. The only exception was the bomb onto the bomb from Jorge at the start of lap 3, but even then, that was nowhere near enough to shake Asia from those top
Right.
spots. Monty had pretty much a 5-second or 10-second break from third at this point.
Pretty much so, yeah. I mean, he was gone in one pretty much the whole race. As we saw there. So Asia's starting to break away a little bit more from Team Spain, but there's still a lot of time to go. Spain is by no means out of it, and we've seen the propensity from them to get top spots and get really good races early on. So gonna be keeping an eye on that. There's still a long way to go in this match, but yeah, see if Spain can get a little bit of that momentum back, maybe get a winning race to stop the bleeding. here, and you don't want to let Asia break away too much because if you do, then it's going to be next to impossible for them to come back. Because we've already talked about how good their running is, how good their runners are. They're really stacked in that department.
Yeah, absolutely. And that BCW pick could absolutely be the difference maker. I'm not exactly, we only have one Daisy in the room. I'm not exactly certain how consistent Jorge is on the Ultra, but regardless, Peach Garden is going to be a nice bit of relief on the side of Spain, not getting a running track pick that could allow Asia to just snowball out of control.
Yeah, it really could. So here on Garden's, probably see a couple of Asian members drop to the back, I would imagine, or potentially first, maybe stops efforts. That we'll see what they opt to do. It'll be one. It'll be one of those
Yeah, a lot of
things.
different
We'll see.
options here. Monty and Josh going through. So yeah, bottom two is going to have to be on shroom duty right here. We do see Soda immediately shrooming up. Saru as well. Charlie following soon after. So for now, Charlie should maybe get into second here with Spain in 1-3. Not exactly sure how many of them still have shrooms. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see Josh just dropping back to get an eighth, or if he can get the item box, which he can, and is gonna get a golden.
Not
Here's
the item
these.
you want here. Unable to
Yeah,
chain, unable to do much with it.
right, right. Soda currently running it up in one. The one gonna place a tight Nana, and it will connect. So good Nana there from Soda. Is gonna get Spain into top two. We'll
Does
see if
Saru have
Saru
a?
has any shrooms or not. He does not.
He
So no
does
taking the cut.
not. Monty gonna have to
Monty
shroom up.
for
A
one.
green attempt does not connect, unfortunately, so Monty's gonna be able to stay up there. Did that green bounce
It did hit
bounce?
someone. It hit someone. I'm not sure who, but that did bounce on the ricochet.
All
Or to
right,
connect, I should say.
some snipe attempts on the uphill. No, we're gonna have to choose to wait here. I do believe that Monty should have more shrooms. Oh, never mind. He
Not
did not
anymore.
have.
Yeah,
Not
not,
anymore.
but not anymore completely. Yeah, after that POW.
Most
He's
likely just using them to
going
prevent Soda from catching up. And there's
another
another
blue.
blue on the side of Spain comboing with that red really late as well. Monty should pretty much lose a whole 7 seconds from this. Saru, Jorge, and Soda in top 3 if my eyes do not deceive me.
Yes, it is top three at least for now. And we will see the Daisy taking cut, which is Jorge, so extend their lead a little bit. But this POW is... Oh, he fails the POW
Oh,
dodge. He isn't
doesn't
able
dodge
to
POW.
dodge it.
And there's a blue
He's
for
against the
Asia
next
this time
four.
onto Jorge.
So now Asia's going to take over those top spots for the time being, but still a lot can change depending on if a bagger has shock or not. You see Yoshi Chris currently does not have the shock, so
Oh,
and neither does
Edwin
Edwin.
just lost. Edwin just lost shock.
That is a huge play from Yoshi Chris, so now it's shockless, and that highly benefits Team Asia as we see them in top two, and Josh gets the back spam. Massive, massive play there from Yoshi Chris to all but secure this top two for... Oh, there's a
Oh,
bomb!
that bomb
Oh
snipe!
my gosh! That
It,
got Mati! That got two of them!
that got 2
Oh
of
my
Asia.
gosh!
I
Holy, what a bomb! That
no
was
idea.
insane.
That came out from the straight line beforehand. Did not see who threw that, but absolutely massive play
That
on the side of Spain there without the shock
that was
still managing to.
incredible.
That must have gained
That
like
just got both the top two on the line. What was looking like a sure top two for Team Asia turns in to both of them getting bombed on the line. Yeah,
I
whoever threw that bomb is the MVP of the match thus far. That
I
was
have no
absolutely
I didn't
insane.
see the spots at the end. There was so scrambled. That's top
That's a
4 for
top
Spain.
four. A top four. Oh my gosh. Top four for Team Spain. What a turn. That's a complete 180 right there for
I
Team Spain. Unbelievable.
that must
That is going to be a
must have
clip for
been a
the ages.
that must have been like what a 20-point swing or something along those
Yeah,
lines with just
absolutely.
a single bomb.
That is
Wow.
a massive, massive bomb. I want to know who threw that. I mean, good
Oh my
lord.
god.
Yeah,
Okay,
put
well,
that clip in the highlights and archive
never
that because
mind.
that was crazy.
It doesn't matter if Spain loses shock if we're just landing bombs like that, I
I
guess.
guess. I mean, that's just fine, you know? I mean, that's how quickly it can change though in an MKW match, and this is what you live for when watching these World Cup matches. You see plays like this, and you just realize how great MKW can be sometimes, or how heartbreaking it can be if you're on the losing end.
On the
It
Asian
goes both
side, yeah,
ways, you know?
absolutely.
That's just heartbreaking if you're Team Asia, but it's how do you respond after that that's going to be the real test. Can Team Asia respond and get a winning race after that absolute heartbreaking end to Peach Gardens? And
Yeah.
Spain gets their track pick in BCW
Oh, that
as
is
well.
terrifying. But yeah, it's funny to think that we're talking about Asia's individual talent, and the biggest individual play comes out of Spain for a top 4 right there, right at the halfway point of the war.
Wow. That is unbelievable. I'm still in awe at that. Man.
Can't,
All
can't
right,
write
let's get
anything better
into
than that,
BC.
folks.
BC, it really does not. Going into BC, we see Josh getting the draft and a nice trick to find himself in
Yeah.
the mid spots. Because he could trick
Dodge the back from
greens.
Soda. That can cause a lot of chaos there. Immediately shooting those greens up, getting a Spain. Not exactly sure which Spain member. I believe that was Fran, but gets immediately hit out by Jorge afterwards. Charlie getting up there as well into second. Spain is still in decent spots after all of that, but Soda's gonna have a lot of work cut out for him.
Yeah, he really will, trying to keep these Spain or these Asian members at bay. As we see Charlie in second. So a 2-3 coming. Oh, but Josh
Eats
gonna
a
hit
Nana slice.
banana. So loses out on third place for now.
Fib does not
Avoids the
connect, but it does
fib.
connect on another one of Asia's members. So now Spain in 1-3-4 after the first lap. Josh should be able to shroom back up there if there's no item on the side of Sar to hit him out. But so
Yeah.
far, Spain in pretty dominant fashion on this BCW race.
Yeah, it's going to be in key for them to hold on these toss outs. We
Charlie got
see
hit out.
Charlie get taken out top 2 now for Team Spain. This red shouldn't connect onto Jorge, but Josh could get into second, yeah, by shrooming up right here. Unless, or he gets something already here, but we'll just see Soda
That
running it up
red.
in first. Josh isn't really going to be able to do much of anything unless Asia can pull a blue and get it onto him.
Would be nice for Asia to pull a blue for once, as we've
That's
seen.
right. They've kind of been on the losing end of these blues early on. As
Regardless,
we see Yoshi Chris falling off currently, so he does not have shock, at least but he is in 10.
he is perma
He's
10. Not exactly sure if that means that maybe Edwin
equal
has
Bill
already been
again.
9. Edwin might have
Yeah,
been 9
Edwin,
already.
he could have, yeah, 9. So that's something to keep an eye on. But if you're Team Spain, you're just going to be holding shock for most of the race as you are in top spots as you are in first as well. So right now,
You would
Josh trying to do anything he can to keep up with Soda right now.
Yoshi Chris might try and drop a star here onto Josh to be able to get him up there. Doesn't get the twomp timing, and Shock comes out. It's definitely a Spain
You
Shock.
see
We do
Jorge
see
dodging. Yep.
Jorge dodging, and I
Top.
believe another Spain member dodging in the back as well. No TS onto Josh, but that's going to be more than enough to get that top 2. No shortcut takers on either side so far from what I've seen. And that should be another decent race for Spain if another hero snipe doesn't happen. Saru maybe trying to take cut.
Nice
Nice Nana
Nana.
onto Josh.
Nice Nana.
I believe that Saru failed the cut, unfortunately, so not going to be alongside his teammates there. Asia in 3-4-5. Mega a bit too late there. Nice, does connect the back red onto someone, but Spain, not exactly the perfect race, but a top 2 is all you can ask for.
Top 2, bottom 2 is still perfectly acceptable, especially after that top 4 you just got on Gardens. That's a fine way to kind of keep the ball rolling and keep the momentum up, even though you would have obviously liked a stronger race. I think they used that shot pretty well. You know, they got a couple people. They dodged Jorge, get him into second place, because for the time being, it was just Soda running it up in first. Oh, yeah, we're gonna see the results here. And top 2, bottom 2.
Yeah, as expected. Did Soda leave first place the entire time during that race?
I'm not sure. Maybe in the very early beginning, but I don't think so. I mean,
I don't
I think
believe
he just
so.
kept first the whole race. It's a great
Fastest
job.
wheeler in the
Great
West.
run. Great run from
Aside
Soda.
from Bloods.
And he is one of the better runners. I will say that. We didn't really talk about Soda too much, but he is a very strong runner in his own right. So when he does get up to the front, he's really good at holding on to it and taking very good lines. So I'm not surprised at all to see him run essentially the whole race.
I've got to say, I'm really impressed by him and Jorge so far. They've been consistently in the front pretty much the entire war so far from what it looks like. Grumble Volcano going to be picked on the side of Asia, those mid spots once again. The top bottom spot that you usually see from those teams is Rose Goldmine. That's already picked, and this time is going to be BC3. Now, this is where it gets interesting if it is picked. Actually, on both accounts, the shortcuts on both of these maps are crucial, and however you play around them can really dictate how the race goes. We're going to have to see what is picked here. And it's going to be BC3. All right. How many bets on Ultra? How many bets on Shroomlesses, Shroom Cuts? So many options on this track.
A lot of options. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say, you know what? I'm gonna say one person fails Ultra, and I'm gonna say, I don't know about Shroomless. I don't even know if anyone's gonna go for it. But if they do, I'm gonna say no one's gonna fail Shroomless.
Nice back. Asia getting hit out quite a lot. Eric inheriting that TC from Josh. A lot of Asia in the back now. We'll have to see. I do trust Soda to just block that Shroom Cut there.
Yeah,
and
he
it is
will.
going to be blocked.
Puts the block down. We'll see an unblock though. We'll see if anyone does make the cut. So far, no.
No one so far. Soda remains in first. No one, a single person has managed to make
Finally
the cut, and I
takes it.
believe that is Monty.
Yeah, Monty did take the cut there. Is going to get hit out, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't see him anywhere right now.
Jorge's in third. That's all. That in fourth now. That's all we can see on the minimap. Really, we should probably switch here. Monty should stay in those top spots. Saru getting hit out, going to be dead last, but he's able to drop POW a lot of Asia. After that said, that's a really good T-POW on the side of Saru. Gets any shrooms out of Asia early, gets any dodges early, and makes Josh lose a lot of time on that turn.
Yeah, we see Asia and leave, yeah, 4, 5,
3, 4, 5,
6.
6.
Monty gets hit
Yeah.
out. And
If
golden for Josh.
if Spain can get a few blocks onto that shroom cut, enough for Asia to not immediately be able to unblock it, that can be disastrous for Asia. Will anyone go for Ultra? I do not believe so.
Josh
We
gonna
do
take
see the
cut
unblocks.
here. Make
Eric
it.
unblocks from both Charlie and Josh, so now getting into 3-4 behind Fran and Soda.
Yeah, they need to break up this top two some way, somehow. A blue would definitely help. A lot of reds to avoid on the ground, but they avoid them. We'll see
Triple
Josh
shrooms
gonna
for
draft
Josh.
Charlie.
Josh can very well get first here, depending on how cut is played. Charlie's probably going to have
He
to unblock
could.
for him.
Yeah, he's gotta be able to avoid backs from Spain
Charlie actually
and be
got hit
aware
out
of
by
the
the
potential
green.
shock. And that's not good because now there isn't really anyone very close to unblock cut for Josh. Will we see him go for ultra or not? Keep in mind, shot could be in play. It
Oh,
gets
he gets
hit out.
off!
He's off. He is off, and is gonna lose a lot. He's gonna fall all the way back to 7th place. He's gonna go for ultra right here. Will he be able to make
You
it?
have to. Monty takes cut. Jorge
He
fails.
does make it.
Josh does make Ultra, but only gets up to 6. Saru up there. Jorge, unfortunately, going to be in the back alongside
And
another
he's
member.
itemless. Josh is
Gonna get.
itemless too.
Is it another member of Team Spain? We do know that Monty's in first. I think Asia just turned this race around.
We're gonna have to see the exact results there in the end. Massive play though from
Oh, Charlie
Monty, I
actually. Okay.
think. To
Okay, Charlie in 7th. We did Charlie in 7th, Jorge in
Jorge in
8th.
last. Yeah, Jorge got 8,
So
so
shouldn't be that big of a race for Asia if it is them into top 2.
yeah.
But that is an insane back red from the top 2 of Asia. They're just getting not only getting Josh off, but also just with triple shrooms as well, taking out one of their main cutters. Obviously, Monty getting the bulk of the work done here to get first, but
It's
Spain
a
still
Spain
gets
2, 3,
2, 3,
4.
4 out of that. That's another winning race on the side of Spain. They have the momentum completely in their favor
I
so far, and this time without shot.
I'm just gonna say this. They are making the plays, Team Spain. Like they are making some massive plays that have that have helped them find themselves in the lead that they have right now, like from getting Josh off there to the bomb on Gardens. Uh as if they didn't do that, Josh could have taken cut, could have gone for ultra, could have done a number of things, but couldn't after he could only go for ultra after getting hit off, which only got him into we saw 6th place there momentarily. So I mean, shout outs to Spain. They're playing amazing. They're doing a very fine job so far. But can they keep this up? Because there's still time left for Asia to come back. So will they be able to keep it up for this last half or this last stretch of the war?
Indeed, there's still an entire GP to play. Grumble Volcano coming
Right.
out from both sides, both on the 234
Okay, here's
and the
your wager again.
1567. All right, well this time you
Y-
can't escape it. So you said 1 or 2. I'm gonna go out on
yeah.
a limb and say 3. I'm gonna out on a limb.
Okay. Well, let's see it. See if either one of us are right. Hopefully, no one fails it for both teams' sake. We want to see clean cuts, but
Yeah, but
let's
that's
see.
funny, and we're here for the entertainment value. That's what matters for this cast.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right, let's see. Start off with Josh here. He'll be starting in his place. Gonna try to get shrooms at this set. We'll get a 6th place box. And let's get a single shroom, so he will be able to take the cut if he can hold on to this.
A nice fib onto, I believe that was Monty that got hit out there right away. Oh, and actually Monty hitting out someone from Spain there. Tron getting into first. Those nanos not going to connect onto Josh. Josh should be able to just get into first here. I'm not exactly sure if Monty has a shroom
Yeah.
yet.
Oh, that was a little too close for comfort for my liking, but
Uh,
he is going to make the rock with ease, get into 1,
and I
and
believe
have a break to
he...
boot.
Ooh, a bit of a shaky rock from someone in the back there. I'm not exactly sure who that was. Going to be in second, though. Asia now in pretty decent spots overall. We should probably check over Soda's POV since Josh should be able to run for most of this second lap at the very least, holding a start into 7th there. And we do know that Yoshi Chris is the one in the cave right now, so maybe trying to hit him out there. We'll have to see. Not exactly sure if anyone has shock just yet. And it is actually Spain that has shock. Double dodge in Star and Bill. If Soda can
Soda
just
has
make...
golden. He's gotta make the cut here though. That'd be really huge. And he will. Gonna go
Does make
around.
it.
Should be able to stay up here with. We see Josh currently in first place, but again, he's still gonna hold on to it. But Soda is very close to him. Gotta avoid these nanos though. Be very cautious. Could maybe make a play with the fib here. We've seen some big plays from Spain. Will it connect? No.
It won't, unfortunately. It goes a bit wide. Nice dodge of that fib, though,
Ooh,
through the
that
blooper as
was
well.
that was big.
Insanely close. If Soda can get a Shroom in second here, he pretty much secures first place. We do see Jorge, actually, I was about to say in third, but does get hit out, so Josh should be able to keep in first. Monty taking cut as well. Neither bagger should have just yet, unless Edwin has pulled in 9, but that should be a top 2 on the side of
Yeah,
Asia
will.
there. That red not connecting. Charlie in
Top
fourth.
2, 4 looks. Oh, shot comes in. Will Charlie lose on the
Yeah,
spot?
that does TS Charlie. That
Looks like
does
he
TS
does.
Charlie. Yeah. I
Yep.
believe that it's 3-4 for Spain. But Asia
All right.
do get some sort of comeback at the very least.
They do, yeah. That top 2 is absolutely massive for Asia to kind of swing a little bit of that momentum back in, back to them and maybe make the start of a comeback as we head into last few races. They definitely needed that for sure. Yeah, we see top 2, 6, 7 for Team Asia. So that's big and not the worst race for Team Spain, but definitely not what you want to see as you're trying to hold on to your lead with just 3 races to go, not too much time left. I have to see how these last few shake out. And there might be a pen. Looking like Team Spain has one. And
Oh
minus
my
5 it
goodness,
looks like, if anything.
my goodness, that clip is loud.
Yes, I had to mute that instantly.
Yeah. So yeah, a box deal on the side of Yoshi Chris.
Not 100% sure if it is going to be one or not. They're going to discuss it.
He
But
is going backwards, but it is a pretty big box deal, so we'll have to see. We'll keep you folks updated on
we'll
what
see, yeah.
the board decides. But yeah,
Yep.
Asia definitely happy there if you're able to get some sort of a comeback started through this. And I hate to be the one, but the bagger in me feels bad for Yoshi Chris because those were probably double. At the very least, the second one was guaranteed a 9er. The first one probably got pulled as he made the strat, so Edwin was just able to get a couple boxes 10, and that was enough to pull the first shock.
Yeah. And we'll be Turboland, yep, being picked for Team Spain. So let's hopefully see some more great plays from both these teams. Let's get some more entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
This match is so close so far. You talked about winning by
know.
40, but you're talking about winning by 40.
That
but
may
we're
not
entering
hold
the last
up.
the last 3 races, 3 points away. 1 point per race for Asia. That's all you need. We'll have to see if Soda can keep that top spot here. Green up, not gonna connect. Oh my god.
Monty ends up nanning him, drilling him. It's a good play from Monty. Albeit he's
But
gonna
Monty
get taken out.
gets right away. That's top 3 for Spain, actually. But gotta remember, Sherbet, any golden here could pretty much turn the entire rankings around. Bagger Green not going to connect onto Yoshi Chris, but we did see the Spain Bagger being in 10th for now.
Which is big, because top 3, not the greatest spot to be in on Sherbet land. Like, a lot of top spots, you want some guys back there to give you in the shrooms and dodges. Especially when pack's close like this, although 8th place is gone by quite a bit. Could easily catch up. Monty's going to come up. Red's not going to hit, though.
Yeah. A bit of schlagging on the side of Soda there. We do know that's the last Spain member in the back, simply due to the fact that it is a Daisy. And
Oh,
the
no, you get
off.
T-Cut off.
Let's switch over to Josh. Oh, actually, Monty pulling a TC there. Definitely not what you want with all your teammates around. Eric's going to golden up. And I believe that is now top 2, bottom 2 for Spain as Jorge shrooms up. That red might connect. It is. It should be broken on the wall. It is broken on the wall. Jorge trying to support his teammates now that Soda is so far gone in the back after that T-Pow.
Yeah, this is a good pull from Josh. This golden is going to help him get back up there with the pack being as close as it is. Clips the Nana, tight Nana, but still is going to use it. And, it's got to be aware of these reds.
Oh, I thought Jorge was off for a second there, but that was only just a little bit of a hit there. Blue is pulled. And someone from Spain actually got T-Powed, so Sar's going to eat that blue.
Yeah.
That's so good for Asia there. And Sar's going to get comboed.
Yeah, top 2 now for Team Asia. So this race is flipped on its head just like that. And we see Yoshi Chris doesn't have shock just yet. Not sure if Edwin has or
Edwin
not.
is Edwin
But
is trimming up, I think. I do think
so yeah,
he's.
probably no one has.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Eric
see Yoshi
hitting the
Chris
Nana,
in one.
unfortunate. Should be still top 2.
Yeah, for now. A little
Yeah,
bit of a
neither bagger
top 3
has.
kind of split.
We have confirmation neither bagger has, and so Asia should just keep that top 3 unless we see another hero snipe on the side of Spain. That should be a huge race on the side of
Yeah,
Asia.
they're gonna get top 3. Looking like. Yep,
Monty's trying to shroom up as well. That is top 3-6.
6. Yeah, big race for Team Asia. They needed that. Needed that right there. They were able to just after that blue just took out any chance that Team Spain had of winning that race. After sort of got comboed by Josh, and we saw a couple of Team Spain getting T-Powered off to some really great pows from Team Asia. Maybe a little bit of bad luck from Team Spain is you're kind of handcuffed like when you get those micro bounces from the POW if you're trying to like hop over gaps. Sometimes it just won't let you, and you're just gonna be sent into it, and there's not much you can do about that. But nonetheless, that's the race that Team Asia needed. That's gonna put them in front with just a couple races left now.
Just a couple
And
races
let
left.
me
But yeah,
check.
we were talking about there potentially being apologies, my words are escaping me right now. Right
Oh,
as
you're
we
all
say that
good.
that as I call your wager bogus, as I say that Asia might not win by 30, we get an immediate response out of Asia with a very nice top 3-6, getting 20 points ahead, and now Spain is hard on the back foot going into the last 2 races.
They might have another pen too. We're seeing another clip from Sherbet Land of Yoshi Chris bumping the runner wall. Although I don't know if this one's gonna hold up or not, as it looks like the runner had a little bit of time maybe to correct his alignment and not get hit. But we'll have to see. So a potential -10 coming in, like 2 -5s, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll keep you
That,
guys updated on that.
that could be pretty big. A board is currently discussing on what the first pen is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Moonview Highway getting picked
Looks
for
like
Team Asia.
it does look like a -5 on the first one. Not sure about the second one just yet. Have to see. Moonview, that's a really big pick on the side of Asia. They only need one winning race, and they pretty much called curtains on Spain so far. A lot of pressure on the
Yeah.
mid slots to get up there. And
We'll
Friend and
see
Soda actually
Soda
do get
trimming
up
up
there.
fast. Josh currently in 1, although Slaughter's threatening that spot right now. Oh, but it's the car, clips the car.
Two
Never
members of
mind.
Spain, hitting out the cars almost immediately. But Soda and Jorge now into 2-3. They're gonna try and stay up there. Nice dodge onto that fib there. Josh has a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
Monty actually creeps up in third, so now Soda is actually sandwiched between those two Asia players.
and Monty is like right next to him. I was gonna concede the spot to Soda. Gotta respect that Nana. And although
Well,
he's gonna get
actually,
in a second now anyway, and it looks like he just
getting
took on.
getting that shroom
Maybe
up, but
not.
it looks
Looks
like
like
he's
Soda takes
still
over
in the
second
back.
again.
I'm not actually sure if this is lag or anything of the sort, but yeah, Soda keeps second so far, and
Yoshi
Yoshi
Chris has
Chris
shock.
has the shock. That is massive for Asia there.
Yep. So I'm gonna avoid these back spams. We see, oh,
Ooh,
nice
nice
fib
dodge on the
evasion.
fib. Nice
See Josh
T-pow, but
still into 1,
it does make him
but
lose a lot of time, but it's not enough for Soda to pass just yet.
yeah, Soda's
Quick
still
back
1.
shot.
And
But yeah,
Josh has an item, so he's got to be worried about that a little bit.
unfortunately, we don't have any eyes in the back. Not exactly sure what's going on in the mid pack there. Edwin probably just lost Bill. But yeah, we do. Yoshi Chris actually lost shock. He lost
Oh
shock to a cart.
no! So Edwin has a chance to pull it very late, and that could be good for Spain. We'll have to see though. No blues coming in. I
All right,
mean, unless they get a blue,
Josh,
it looks like Josh is gonna get
Josh,
1. If
Josh
he can
going
break
really
this
wide.
red.
That
Yeah.
shroom, nice back green. That gets Charlie into second. That should be
Wow.
curtains.
Yeah, massive green. That's gonna get Asia top 2. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, and
Huge there for Josh.
Yoshi Chris did pull again intent at the end there, but losing that shock to the car,
That
you
could have
would have
been
felt that would
disastrous.
have been disastrous.
That could have been very, very bad if Team Spain were to pull like right there. That's not something you want to be doing in a World Cup match when it's close like this, only 2 left. But it didn't cost him anything, so it's all good. So it's all good.
It should be curtains already. If it's top 2, anything from 4 to 5th, top 2, 6, top 2, 5, 7. I think that wins by more than 10, doesn't it?
So we'll have to see this. Well, so keep in mind, I think both -5s are going to be confirmed. So might be looking at a -10 penalty for Team Asia.
You are
Keep that
correct
in
to remind
mind.
us that. You are correct to remind us that. I do
So
believe
it's going to be
that.
still doable, definitely.
Up 31 without counting the pens, I do believe.
So that would be 21 if both those pens are good. So they don't even need to, so Team Spain doesn't even need to all run really if they choose. I'm not sure which track they're gonna opt to go for. Okay, it's gonna be GV2. Maybe they might try the all run strat. Kind of trying to play in like the pens haven't gone through yet, which is definitely the strategy you want. Can't immediately assume, at least not until they have been officially confirmed
Yeah,
that they
so
go through.
we're going GV2. We have to risk it. DKS cannon track. The obvious countermeasure to the all run there guarantees that you get a high chance of pulling those shocks, and cannon tracks
When it's
are
DK
great for
Summit.
that. And DK Summit is picked. Not what you want to see if you're Spain being so far down.
Yeah, the only benefit they have is they don't have to get like top 4, like 8 or something crazy. They can get like just they can bag and still get a big race and can win still. So starting off with Soda's POV, he's gonna be able
So
to get into 1.
he actually does get into the front immediately. He's going to need to play out of his mind right now to get Spain out, but doesn't get the zipper, so that's already going to be pretty compromised as Josh gets into 1 here. Charlie close behind him. He does get someone from Asia does get trailed though. Front gets into first, and here comes the double, folks.
Oh, that's a terrible. Yeah, he's gonna have to bail on that. That was a really bad alignment. It's
Both
good for
Spain
him to
members,
not go for that.
Spain members forced to bail though. So Fran now in third. Asia already in top 2, going into lap 2 here with Monty close behind in fourth. It's not looking good for Spain, folks.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim for now. Unless Spain's bagger, Edwin can get shock. Soda does have the blue, he's going to throw it. So that's going to be a good start for Team Spain as there are still 2 laps to go. So yeah, that's going to hit Josh. And
Okay,
we'll see
that's the one way
Charlie
you can
takes over
potentially win
1.
this.
See
Front
Francis in second.
Front needs to stay close and for another blue to come, and there
Another
it is.
blue.
But Front fails, so it's still going to be top 2 for Asia.
Wow. Oh, no, but Josh, it's did the fib there, was it?
The fib might have been Charlie's, I'm not exactly sure, but Asia is still top 3 after that. They have such a break over Spain
Wow.
there. And Yoshi Chris has shock. It could be a top 3 dodge in here. We're choosing to hold it. Okay, we're choosing not to risk anything here. We don't need anything big. We just need to win.
Right.
This is not like GSC. We don't need bonus points. We don't need anything. We just need the win.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't want to risk anything right now when you have top spots. You just want to hold that shock and make sure you can secure this top 3. And we'll see Soda throw in the blue, but
another blue
that's
is pulled.
not going to
I
be
don't
enough,
think
I
that's
don't
enough.
think.
Monty forced to go around. Ooh, nice double. But yeah, even after that blue, that should be top 2
Yeah, it's not enough.
For Asia, close enough at the very least.
Asia's going to win.
Congrats to Asia. There was definitely a glimmer of hope on the side of Spain, especially after that Peach Gardens race, but Asia was just consistently stronger in the running department. We were talking about it.
Yep.
And the biggest example and most recent we have was this very race. Fran was in second, had the double completely unobstructed, but simply fails it as the blue hits Charlie. So Asia just get to keep their top spots. Top 3-7, even with both pens in. GG's to Asia. Amazing play by both teams.
Yeah, both teams played exceptionally well, and give Spain credit. I mean, they fought their hearts out and played very well. They gave Asia everything that they could handle, and made it as close as they could have made it really, and didn't let them just completely run away. They didn't lay down and just die or go into the night silently. They gave a huge fight, and this was definitely winnable for them. But in the end, Asia's going to come out. And is that a 40-point win for Asia? My prediction is that on
my
the
goodness, right
money?
on the nod too.
On
Wow.
the
All right.
money?
I
Okay.
I caster cursed myself by saying that it would be wrong at the start of Sherbet. That's what I'm going for. But either way,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
Monty didn't MVP, missed out by 2 points, so I almost got both of them,
Yeah,
both of
Saru
my
actually
predictions right, but
my
it's
prediction
close.
was hella wrong. Soda being a lot stronger than we gave him credit for was always up there. It seemed we from both of our POVs, well, both of our POVs ended up breaking 100. They were pretty much always in the front. We didn't have much view of the mid spots for a lot of that war, and it really shows. But yeah, overall, congrats to both teams. Great play overall. And yeah, it definitely shows anyone that's thinking that Plains teams can't possibly compete. It shows the level of play that they are still able to accomplish. There
Yeah.
were a few mechanical fails, but overall an amazing level of play by both teams, really.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can beat anyone on a given day. I know I heard some people talking about that on, like, the group Johns, like, while their teams might be worse on paper compared to some others, if they're having a good day, I mean, any team can beat anyone, and we saw that, like, Spain definitely had a chance to beat Asia here, even though they might be the lesser team on paper. You know, we saw them even all make some tremendous plays that turned the war around at least momentarily for a little bit. But in the end, Asia does come out on top. You see some high scores from Josh and Monty, of course, and that -10 didn't mean anything. So yeah, I mean, great match, and I know we have I think Asia versus LSA later. I don't know if we'll be able to get a cast for that, but if not,
I
please,
do not believe we have, unfortunately. I do think some players might still be able to catch that, so I do recommend keeping an
yeah,
eye
please watch the
on,
streams if
yeah,
possible, and still watch the matches for sure.
keep an eye on that Twitch tab. Let me check really quick. Do we have the time for the match at the very least?
I thought it was 6:30 EST, but don't quote
S-
me on that.
I believe it was something close. It is 6:30. Yeah, Asia